welcome back. We're back to begin the next case. This is number 56. To eternity and beyond. Matthew, we haven't heard from Ad Astra since they broke out of jail and attacked you with their superpowers. But shaking them down isn't the only thing on our plate. We know they're on the run from someone who's even more powerful than them. And our latest lead at this mastermind could be Rosetta's mother. I don't know what to make of that discovery, Matthew. We don't know who Rosetta's mother is, but we do know that the Ad Astrans are afraid of her, despite their superpowers, so she must be a genuine threat. But we do have one lead, Denise Daniels, the head of SARA. We know she's having the Ad Astran followed. Could she be Rosetta's mother and the mastermind we're looking for? Matthew, you better go find Miss Daniels at SARA and see what she has to say about all this. Understood. Matthew, let's head to the Space Agency headquarters and see if Miss Daniels is around. There we are. Matthew, that woman is dead. It looks like she's been stabbed in the neck. And you're right, we know her. It's Trishna Joshi, a hazmat technician. She was part of the team SARA deployed to clean up the dome. But who could have killed her in this highly secured building? Another SARA employee? Whoever it was, they clearly picked a moment when nobody was around. Sharp eye, Matthew. That's a man's wallet, so it clearly didn't belong to the victim. Let's search through it and see if we have a witness. And you're right, we need to question Miss Daniels now more than ever. Not just about her links to Ad Astra, but also about her employee's murder. Senior Trooper Matthew, to what do I owe this visit? Is this about our cleanup operation under the dome? I've told you everything I know about that. Not everything, apparently. Why are you having Rosetta and her cohort followed? It's true I did keep tabs on Miss Pierre and her known accomplices by hiring some informants, but it was simply a safety precaution. Was it? Miss Daniels, I hope you aren't trying to conceal a closer association with Rosetta Pierre, or we will find out. What association would I have with that mad woman? Senior Trooper Matthew, I'm a reputable scientist, the head of a space agency. Well, speaking of the agency, we're investigating the murder of one of your employees. Trishna Joshi was killed in the lobby. What? Someone was murdered in this building? Miss Joshi, you say? I don't know her personally, but speak with our Chief of Staff, Christine Ramsgate. The last I saw her, she was having lunch in the Newmark Garden. Then the garden's exactly where we're headed, Matthew. Let's move. Okay, got it. Got up to second place. I need to get some stars too, but we'll finish this out first. I don't see Sarah's chief of staff anywhere, Matthew, or anyone else for that matter. But if you think those torn scraps of paper might help us track her down, I'll grab the tape. And I see you found the victim's phone. Is it possible the killer took this and dropped it here? Let's decrypt the password and look through Trishna Joshi's data. So sit tight, everybody. Okay, now I have 7 stars total. I'm gonna take care of this first. Romani Taylor's. We're on the right track with this card, Matthew. It's an appointment card for Romani Taylor, and Christine Ramsgate's name is written on the back. So we'll need the Dusting Kit to read the rest of the text. Okay. We're almost out of time on my day, so I'm going to have to hurry this along. There we go. We're in luck, Matthew. This is an appointment reminder card. Apparently, Miss Ramsgate has an appointment at 2 p.m. this afternoon, which is... That's right now, Matthew. We'll find Christine Ramsgate at the Taylor's. Come on, I'll drive. Pretty sure that'll be enough. That'll be enough stars for me. Excuse us, Miss Ramsgate. We're here to talk to you about the murder of Trishna Joshi. Good heavens! Trishna's been killed? Trishna's been killed? That's terrible. What can you tell us about Miss Joshi? Trishna was an asset to Sarah, especially on the assignment to clean up the dome. And on a personal level, Trishna was a genuine and kind person. She'd buy me lunch sometimes in the garden, ordering my usual gluten-free sandwich. Such tragic news. She will be sorely missed. I will pass on my sincere condolences to Trishna's family on Sarah's behalf. Okay, wallet now. Got it. Got me all the way down to 3. This wallet contains a commemorative coin, Matthew, from the Grimsboro Law Society. And there's a name engraved here, Martin Davenport. You're right, Martin Davenport works as Sarah's legal counsel. We interviewed him in connection with the murder of Doris Black. Looks like we're going to have to speak with Davenport in connection with this murder, too. Moment, folks. Sorry, guys, I had to make a pit stop at the bathroom. Mr. Davenport, we found your wallet, and thank goodness you have my gratitude for returning this, Senior Trooper Matthew. I believe I misplaced it in Trishna Joshi's office yesterday evening. Miss Joshi is actually the reason we're here. She's been murdered in the lobby. Murdered? Oh dear, this is truly regrettable. Considering my strong objections to homicide on Sarah premises due to its extreme illegality, I lament that it's happened again. How well did you know Miss Joshi? Can you tell us anything about her? Only that we shared a mutual respect, though our professions are vastly different. We work for a common goal, bringing order to chaos. A murder right here on Sarah's doorstep. I assure you, Senior Trooper Matthew, I will be taking this up with the board. Of course, we are coming down to the end, and we're looking for an epic finish. And winning the battle against Ad Astra. The victim's phone is open to her text messages, Matthew. It looks like she received one this morning from an anonymous number. Oh my god! Listen to this message. You will bleed from the wounds of space and time, the coldest of deaths. Given Miss Joshi was stabbed, this message must have come from her killer, but the sender has been blocked. Good idea, Matthew. Let's send this phone to Kathy and see if she can trace the source of this message. Okay. I will have all of these stars collected, and for now, this is Matthew. See you later. Alright, we've come back. A little under the weather, but I'm able to do this. 2 minutes, Matthew. 3 minutes, tops. What are you talking about, Martine? That's how long it would have taken for the victim to bleed out from a stab wound to the neck. You see, the heart pumps around 3 to 4 liters of blood each minute, and there are about 4 to 5 liters of blood in the human body. So with the stab wound to the neck, such as this one, the victim would be dead in a matter of moments. That's pretty nasty. So Matthew should be on the lookout for some kind of blade? Yes, but it gets nastier. The killer must have been particularly angry with the victim because they spat something in her face after she was dead. There wasn't enough saliva to establish a DNA profile. However, the liquid itself is a valuable clue. The killer spat Rocket Cow on the victim's face. So the killer drinks Rocket Cow, do they? Don't need more than energy drink to stay ahead of you, Matthew. Okay, I got me a water. I really needed something. Hopefully this cold is just temporary. Kathy, did you find out who sent that threatening message to the victim? Well, the number belongs to a burner phone, which means anyone could have sent it. I'm running an algorithm to trace the message, but it will take time. Meanwhile, I do have something interesting to tell you about the sender's reading habits. I'll let Alex explain. Reading habits? Yes. I saw Kathy analyzing that text message, and I recognized the phrase immediately. The killer's threat is quoted from the book 3001, A Space Audacity. It's taken from the final showdown of the book, where AL-8000, an artificial intelligence, tries to kill a member of the space crew, a maintenance technician, very much like your killer. We can certainly add this to their killer's profile, Matthew. They've read 3001, A Space Audacity. Knock off 2001, A Space Odyssey. Matthew, our mission to Sarah headquarters to question Denise Daniels about Ad Astra came crashing back to Earth with the murder of Trishna Joshi. Miss Daniels claims keeping tabs on Rosetta and her cohort was a matter of Sarah protocol, and that she has no idea how or why Miss Joshi was murdered. We also question lawyer Martin Davenport and Sarah's chief of staff, Christine Ramsgate, both of whom spoke highly of their colleague. Nevertheless, someone stabbed Trishna Joshi in the neck, then spat in her face as she lay dying, and it's up to us to find out who. It sounds like you need a new lead, Matthew, and I think I've got one. That text message the victim received from the killer, I know exactly where it was sent from. I'll see you guys for Chapter 2. Alright, we've returned. Let's start Chapter 2 of To Eternity and Beyond. We last left off with Kathy saying that she's got a lead. Excuse me. Remember that threatening text message the victim received from the killer? Although the sender's number was anonymous, I triangulated the location from where it was sent. The killer texted the victim from a location underground, Sarah headquarters, where their training facilities are. The killer was in the training rooms just before Trishna Joshi was murdered? We better comb the scene, Matthew. Here we are. Still got the first star, though. Excuse me. Matthew, Kathy said the threatening text to Trisha was sent from here, so we're bound to find some clues from the killer. I agree, restoring those cardboard pieces would be a good start. I wonder what they're doing in the training facility. And something could be hidden in that storage chest too. Let's sift through it, Matthew. There we are. A letter opener. Look, Matthew, you found a blood-stained letter opener in that storage chest. And it has the Sarah logo on the handle. Could the killer have used this blade to stab Trishna in the neck? This letter opener is a hot lead, Matthew. Let's get it to Amir on the double. Okay. John C. Burke. Got it. Those torn pieces are a promotional cardboard cutout for a guest lecture, Matthew, by a retired astronaut named Commander John C. Burke. Apparently the lecture was hosted this morning here in the training facility, and all SARA employees were encouraged to attend. It's possible the victim and her killer were at the lecture, Matthew. Let's see if Commander Burke can tell us anything. A couple of fans. Did you enjoy my lecture? Let me put down my rock account and sign an autograph. No thank you. We're investigating... No autograph? You do realize who I am, right? Commander John C. Burke, the 10th man to walk on the moon. And we all know 10th is bigger than the first. Bigger than first, am I right? Commander Burke, Senior Trooper Matthews looking into a murder here at SARA. Trishna Joshi's been killed. Did you know her? Trishna? Oh sure, she used to decontaminate the equipment after I returned from some of my final missions. Did you see her this morning? Was she at your lecture? It's hard to say, it was pretty packed. Everyone wants to hear my stories, so she must have been there. Not a lot of people know this, but the book 3001: A Space Audacity was loosely based on my lunar mission. I say loosely, of course, because I can't say for certain, but the similarities are striking. For example, we appreciate your time, Commander Burke, but we'll leave it there for now. Excuse me. And I'll let the letter opener run its course. For now, this is Matthew. I'll see you then. Hopefully I'll feel better tomorrow. Okay, we are back. We're starting to feel better. This letter opener you found has literally torn this case wide open, Matthew. Are you saying this blade is the murder weapon, Amir? Without question. The bloodstains are a match for the victim. What's more, although there were no fingerprints on the handle, I found small smudges of motor oil where the killer would have gripped the letter opener. The compound is an engine lubricant, specifically used for Legaways. You know, those two-wheeled personal transport vehicles. Jasper and I often see them zipping around town. Now, if there was Legaway oil on the killer's blade, that means that the killer rides a Legaway. Don't need more than two wheels to leg away from you, Matthew. There's something else, Matthew. This SARA branding caught my attention. So I asked Ramirez to try and trace the manufacturer. Matthew, it didn't take me long to track the original order for a small batch of these letter openers. They were a personal order by Denise Daniels. What? You're saying the weapon used to stab Trishna Joshi to death belongs to Denise Daniels? We should definitely confront Miss Daniels about this, Matthew. Let's go. You've caught me just in time, Senior Trooper Matthew. I just drove my leg away back from the southern shuttle bays. Caught you red-handed is more like it. Apparently the weapon used to murder Miss Joshi belonged to you. What? How is that possible? Oh, you're talking about that letter opener? I can explain that. I ordered a small shipment of those. I send them to people as gifts, you see. Valued employees, VIP guests, that sort of thing. I don't keep track of them. Senior Trooper Matthew, I joined SARA after reading 3001, A Space Audacity as a child, inspired by the lofty ideals of space exploration and pursuing the betterment of mankind. I would never take the life of another human being. It goes against everything I stand for. Well, if it turns out you did stab Trishna Joshi, your days of exploring anything will be over. And I agree, Matthew. Let's do another sweep of the crime scene while we're here. Security panel. Here we are. That basket is loaded with romantic gifts, Matthew. Stuffed toys, chocolates. It's pretty over the top. You're right. The card is addressed to the victim, so all of these presents were intended for Trishna Joshi. With any luck, the victim's would-be suitor signed their name. Smart thinking, Matthew. Everyone coming through the lobby needs to go via the security gate. Accessing the entry logs might give us an idea of who was in here just prior to the murder. I'll let you work your magic on the access panel's password. Got it. Alright, Matthew, let's send this access panel to the lab so Kathy can analyze the lobby entry logo. Lobby entry logs. The card in that basket of gifts reads, Trishna, you have the keys to my heart. But there's no signature, Matthew. That's true. We can compare this handwriting with our database. Maybe we'll come up with a match. Chapter 9. Martin Davenport's writing. According to your handwriting analysis, Matthew, this card was written by Martin Davenport. So that basket of gifts for the victim was from him? Mr. Davenport doesn't strike me as the romantic type. Nevertheless, this puts Davenport's relationship with the victim in a whole new light. So we need to speak to him again. Mr. Mr. Davenport, you claim you barely knew anything about Trishna Joshi, and yet we found this basket you sent her, full of romantic gifts. Dear me, this is most embarrassing. You see, Senior Trooper Matthew, I developed a romantic interest in Miss Joshi. If you'll forgive my candor, she got my juices flowing, like a swift drink of rocket cow. That's fine, Mr. Davenport, we get the picture. And how did the victim respond to your advances? Not well, I'm afraid. I explained to her the manifold benefits of engaging in a common law union, but she failed to see any advantage. Suffice it to say, Miss Joshi refused my advances. I can see how you might think a spurned suitor, such as myself, could have ample motive for murder, but I assure you I object to the very concept due to its extreme illegality, yes. I hope you're telling the truth, Mr. Davenport, or for once, you'll find yourself on the wrong side of the law. So far he is. I'll let the entry log run its course. I'll see you when that's done. Alright, I'm feeling better. Starting to feel better anyway. Still a little congested, but otherwise I'm okay. Just get the entry logs, and here's Captain. Your instincts are correct about this access panel, Matthew. I've looked over the data, and there's a complete record of everyone who entered the Sarah headquarters this morning. The entry logs are quite busy for the hour before Miss Joshi was killed, but there was hardly anyone around at the time of the murder. According to these logs, the only person who came to the security gate when the victim was stabbed was Otto Kessel. Otto Kessel? Isn't that Denise Daniels' personal assistant? We met him when we were investigating under the dome. If Mr. Kessel was in the lobby around the time of the murder, then we better ask him some questions. Senior Trooper Matthew, Miss Daniels said you were back, due to Miss Joshi's murder. Awful thing. Is that the right word? It is awful, yes. And according to the building's entry logs, you were in the lobby just before the murder. Did you see anything? Nothing unusual. Otherwise, I would have reported it. That's the rational course of action. Of course, I'm rushed off my feet. Might have missed something. Miss Daniels has 3 assistants, but the work is intense. Hard to keep up, even on a leg away. I see. And what about Miss Joshi? Did you know her? Only by name. I regret that she died, but I must go and schedule some meetings. Good day. He's in the clear for now. I don't know whether it has anything to do with space, Matthew, but everyone we've spoken to in connection with Trishna Joshi's murder is a little weird. Otto Kessel, Denise Daniels' assistant, is rather awkward, but perhaps he's just stressed by his overloaded work schedule. Sarah's legal counsel, Martin Davenport, made an uncharacteristic attempt at romance, but his advances were clearly rejected. It wouldn't be the first time matters of the heart turned to murder. Meanwhile, retired astronaut John C. Burke seems much too occupied with his own ego to be interested in anything else. My sights are set squarely on Denise Daniels, Matthew. She claims she bought a small batch of letter openers as gifts, but as far as we know, the murder weapon belongs to her. But all we have is conjecture. What we need are... What's happening, Matthew? I'm floating away! Uh-oh. Might be the work of Ad Astra. We'll find out. In Chapter 3. Don't go anywhere. Okay, folks, we return. Let's start Chapter 3 of To Eternity and Beyond. We last left off with this. What's happening, Matthew? I'm floating away. Senior Trooper Matthew, I didn't realize you were in here. I seem to have accidentally activated the zero gravity chamber. I think this should switch it off. It did. Thank goodness, Matthew. I was starting to get nauseated. My, that takes me back to the good old days. Now that we're back on solid ground, Matthew, let's take another look around these training rooms, and let's be careful not to push any buttons. It's a funny photo there. Gloria being raised or levitated. There it is. Didn't get the first star. Oh well. We could be in luck, Matthew. We know that Trishna Joshi's killer was down here, so unlocking the security camera might offer up a new lead. And there's a note pinned to this tattered coat with the victim's name written on it. Let's clean away those brown fragments to see what it says. I've no idea what these broken pieces are, Matthew, but if you think they're important, go ahead and piece them together. We've orbited around this cake long enough. It's time we caught our killer. Okay. To the moon. Let's hurry, Matthew, and have Kathy review the footage on this security camera. Okay, now the broken toy. It's like a toy robot. Got it. This toy robot's cute, Matthew. I bet Carter would love one of these. Life has changed a lot for the both of us. Now that Carter's living with me again, it's rough, grieving his father. But he's a trooper. Anyway, you're right, Matthew. There's a card inside the robot's chest, written by the victim. You're Denise's little automaton. Automaton, as in Otto Kessel? What does that mean? We can't ask the victim, so let's get Mr. Kessel's side of the story. Want a rocket cow, Senior Trooper Matthew? I got one for me and one for Miss Daniels. We're more interested in this toy robot and the card inside. Would you care to explain? Yes, well, Miss Joshi often mocked my position as Denise Daniels' assistant. She believed I was merely a lackey, a servant Miss Daniels orders around. But I'm not a robot, Senior Trooper Matthew. I am a man, an individual. I wear a green tie. Nobody else does that around here. I explained to Miss Joshi that I was doing my job. As it says in the novel 3001 of Space Audacity, usefulness is the duty of a conscious entity. You broke that robot, Mr. Kessel. Let's hope you didn't break Miss Joshi as well. Well, they're both in the running. Okay, now the pinned note. You'll pay for this, Trishna. Oh boy. Now that those brown fragments are cleaned away, we can read the rest of what's written here. You'll pay for this, Trishna. Somebody was clearly angry with the victim about this damaged jacket, but who? You're right, Matthew. Identifying those brown fragments under the microscope could tell us who wrote this. Okay, let's see. Got it. Gluten-free breadcrumbs. Those brown fragments are gluten-free breadcrumbs, Matthew. Wait a minute. Christine Ramsgate, Sarah's chief of staff, said she eats gluten-free sandwiches. So Miss Ramsgate wrote this angry message to Trishna about her jacket. I agree, Matthew. We better talk to Miss Ramsgate about this. Miss Ramsgate, Senior Trooper Matthew found your damaged jacket. We take it that you blame Trishna Joshi for it. How did you know I wrote that? But it's true. Trishna completely ruined my Romani jacket. I was on my leg away yesterday heading to an important meeting. When out of nowhere, Miss Joshi sprays God knows what kind of chemical all over me. My jacket literally fell apart. It was a total disaster. I looked like one of those hideous creatures from 3001 of Space Audacity. I have a reputation to uphold. You wanted Miss Joshi to pay for your jacket, Miss Ramsgate. Let's hope you didn't make her pay with her life. I'll let the security footage run its course. I'll have all stars collected by then. I'll see y'all later. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of security footage. I'm hoping you've got good news about that security camera footage, Kathy. Well, I can tell you the victim did attend this morning's lecture in the training facility, but then she had a run-in with Commander Burke. A run-in? That's right. Just watch. Listen, Trish, be a doll and plug in that microphone, will you? No need, Commander. We use cordless ones now. Don't you think I know how a microphone works? I was flying spacecraft into orbit before you were wearing diapers, Missy. How dare you speak to me like that? I'm John C. Burke. I'm sorry, Commander. I meant no disrespect. Wow, the commander really flew off the handle, Matthew. The victim obviously struck a raw nerve, which is something he should have told us when we spoke to him earlier. Let's ask the commander about this. Okay. Had to run to the bathroom real quick, that's why I paused. Still trying to get over my cough, so bear with me, folks. I'm almost over it. We need to talk, Commander Burke, and this time you're going to tell us the whole truth. You said you weren't sure whether Trishna Joshi attended your lecture when we know you had an argument. So you saw how she spoke to me, the level of disrespect. Trishna was always like that. Even back when she worked on my missions, she never listened to anything I said, refusing to take the simplest of orders. And then today she treats me like an old has-been. I might be retired, but I'm still John C. Burke. You still sound furious, Commander. Are you sure you didn't let your temper get the better of you? And what? Murder Trishna? That's preposterous. I don't need to stand here and listen to this nonsense. Me and my leg-away are out of here. Something tells me he might be the one. For someone tasked with cleaning things up, our victim really was making a mess of things, Matthew. Trishna Joshi ruffled Commander Burke's feathers because he thought she considered him a has-been. Could bruising an ego that big have ended up in murder? The victim also belittled Otto Kessel for basically doing his job and accidentally sprayed a dangerous chemical all over Sarah's chief of staff. But who among them was pushed to the point of committing murder? We won't find any answers here, Matthew. Let's head back to the Newmark Garden and see if there's anything we missed. And we're going to find out who killed Trishna Joshi in a matter of hours. Oh, there's no way I'm gonna get the first star. No, didn't get it. Okay, so I got some work to do. Look, that empty can of Rocket Cow has smudges of blood on it. We already know the killer drinks it, so they must have discarded it. Smart thinking, Matthew. A sample of the saliva around the rim of the can might give us a DNA profile of the killer. And I agree. If the killer threw away this empty can, they might have also put something in that trash. Let's roll up our sleeves and dig in. Of course, Criminal Case is coming out with the conspiracy soon, but I do not plan to join that because that's a knockoff of the past seasons, and I already get to play the other seasons in the original game, thankfully. So, I don't have to worry about anything at all. But why did I join the other ones? Just because I wanted to? But I may likely be considering leaving some of those games. But we'll see. I already completed Pacific Bay, and I'm working on completing Save the World. Now that we have a sample of the killer saliva from that can, let's see what Amir can find out. This is 9 hours. Good, that's underway now. Fix the trash can. Got it. A bloodstained cloth. You found a bloodstained cloth buried in that trash can, Matthew. That might have been thrown away by the killer. Let's rush this cloth to the lab to be certain. Of course, it's also pretty chilly outside. Of course, in Hawaii, anything below 70 is considered cold. But in the meantime, I'll have all stars collected, and I'll see you guys when these two have run their courses. But I'll look at our suspects here, just to see who's in the running. It looks like it's either Denise Daniels, Martin Davenport is in the clear, as is Christine Ramsgate. It's either Denise Daniels, John C. Burke, or Otto Kessel. But my money, if I had to make a bet right now, it would be on John C. Burke. That's my prediction. We'll see if I'm right after these two are done. So for now, it's Matthew. See you then. Okay, we are back, and let's get the results of the saliva. Your killer was pretty careless, Matthew, throwing away that rocket cow can. They left a prime sample of DNA on the rim. This sounds promising, Amir. What did you find? Without going into an in-depth science lesson, human DNA consists of 23 chromosome pairs. Now, the genetic difference between males and females is the last pair. Women have 2 X chromosomes, while men have 1 X chromosome and 1 Y chromosome. In the killer sample, Matthew, the last pair is an X and a Y. That narrows down our list of suspects, Matthew. Trishna Joshi's killer is a man. I have a feeling it might be John C. Burke. Let's see if I'm right. Amir, what can you tell us about that blood-stained cloth Matthew found in the trash? The good news is those blood stains are a match for the victim. The killer must have wiped their hands with it before throwing it away. Unfortunately, there are no traces of anything else on the material. I've gone over every fiber, but it's completely devoid of DNA or any other trace elements. So you're saying it's a dead end? Not entirely. You see, the cloth itself is a valuable clue. It's made of a particular microfiber specifically designed for cleaning eyeglasses. Martine says the victim had 20/20 vision, so the cloth couldn't be hers. Therefore, the killer must be wearing glasses. This clue certainly brings things into focus, Matthew. We're looking for a killer wearing glasses. We'll see. I could be right. It seems the planets have aligned and we've got all the evidence we need to arrest Trishna Joshi's killer, Matthew. I'll grab the handcuffs. Okay, let's see. It's definitely not Denise Daniels. She's a woman. Not Martin Davenport, not Christine Ramsgate. Well, looks like I was right. It was the retired astronaut who killed her. Yep. I could easily mistake those for goggles, but that's actually glasses. Commander Burke, you're under arrest for the murder of Trishna Joshi. Me? You're clearly mistaken, Senior Trooper Matthew. I'm a hero, not a murderer. Some hero? We know you killed her. You even planned it ahead of time. We saw the threat you sent, quoting your favorite book. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. You let your anger get the better of you. After arguing with Trishna this morning, you spit Rocket Cow in her face after you stabbed her in the neck. Rocket Cow? Is that what passes for evidence these days? Everyone I know loves that energy drink. But not everyone's DNA was on the bloodstained can we found. It's time you stop lying, Commander. Alright, fine. I killed that incompetent moron because she ruined my career. I told you that Trishna was responsible for decontaminating the equipment after my later missions. On what turned out to be my final space flight, that idiot didn't properly sanitize the storage chamber on the ship. Every sample I brought back to Earth was contaminated. The upper brass hauled me in for a hearing and I tried to explain, but they blamed me, saying it was my oversight. They said I was getting too old for missions. I never flew again after that. They were all nice about my retirement, but I know I was grounded because of that useless fool. So your solution was to murder her? I didn't know Trishna was going to be here today. Seeing her face brought back all those memories, the humiliation. And then she had the nerve to question my abilities before the lecture, as if I was the incompetent one. That was the last straw. I sent her that message so she knew what was coming. And after the lecture was over, I followed her to the lobby and stabbed her in the neck. That idiot destroyed my career, and so I destroyed her life. Well, Commander, by committing murder, you ruined your own life as well. You're under arrest. Commander Burke, you stand before this court charged with the murder of Trishna Joshi. What is your plea? If giving that moron the payback she deserves is somehow a crime, then I'm guilty, Your Honor. It's sad to see someone who's achieved so much throw it all away in an impulsive act of vengeful anger. Impulsive? Trishna sealed her own fate the minute she contaminated my lunar samples. She's been a thorn in my side for years. You'll have years to contemplate whether it was worth it, Commander, because I'm sentencing you to 15 years in prison. It was worth it, Your Honor, believe me. The galaxy hasn't seen the last of John C. Burke. The old adage, pride goes before a fall, seems to sum up this case, Matthew. Commander Burke's bruised ego fanned the flames of his desire for revenge. The case is now closed, but we still haven't answered all our questions about Denise Daniels. What interest does Denise Daniels have in Ad Astra? Was keeping tabs on Rosetta really standard protocol? Or could she actually be Rosetta's mother, the mastermind pulling the strings behind Ad Astra? One thing's certain, Matthew, we need to get to the bottom of this. So we know John C. Burke was the guilty party. It wasn't Otto Kessel because he doesn't wear glasses. It certainly wasn't Denise Daniels. Neither was it Martin Davenport, like I said, or Christine Ramsgate. So I'll see you guys for Endgame 2-6. Okay, we've come back. And let's start Endgame 2-6. Now that Trishna's killer's behind bars, it's time we got some concrete answers about Denise Daniels' connection to Ad Astra. What interest does she really have in keeping tabs on Rosetta and the other Ad Astrans? Could she actually be Rosetta's mother, the mastermind pulling the strings behind Ad Astra? Anyway, no point speaking with Miss Daniels until we have further evidence. She'll just keep giving us the runaround. I agree, Matthew. We should return to Sarah headquarters and do some investigation. Police! Police! Somebody has to help me! Now slow down there, take a breath, and tell us what's wrong. What's your name? Summer Klein. I know this will sound crazy, but I saw somebody in the Newmark Garden with magical powers. Flowers. All right, Miss Klein, sounds like we'll need to hear the full story. Can you wait in the interrogation room for Senior Trooper Matthew? Meanwhile, Jones can head over to Stellar Headquarters, Matthew. You can meet him there when we finish taking Miss Klein's statement. So let's see what Summer Klein has to say first. Summer, you said you saw someone with magical powers in the Newmark Garden. Can you describe exactly what happened? I was there taking pictures of the plants and flowers for my botany class. There were these two guys talking when suddenly one of them started yelling. Then one of the guys shot something out of his hands and the other guy was suddenly covered in ice. I didn't know what was going on, but that's what it looked like. I recorded it with my camera, but I freaked out and dropped it running away. Alright, Summer, leave this with Senior Trooper Matthew. You should go home now and try to calm down. You're not in any danger. Matthew, did you hear what this girl said? An angry guy shooting ice from his hands? Sounds like Christian Bateman. This is the first lead we've had on Ad Astra since they've been on the run. Christian Bateman was at the Newmark Garden. Let's hurry, Matthew. We can't miss our chance to catch him. Still trying to recover from my cough, but obviously I'm well enough to do this. There we are. Potted flowers. Darn it, Matthew. No sign of Bateman. We've lost him. But you're right. Summer Klein said she recorded the ice shooting incident, but lost her camera. Good call, Matthew. Summer's camera might be in that flower pot. Let's dig in. Okay, let's see if we can find that camera. See it. There it is. Well done, Matthew. You found Miss Klein's camera. This would give us a lead on finding Christian Bateman. There are so many files on here, I wouldn't know where to start. Let's have Kathy examine this camera. Oh, man. It's been a while since I've been to this. Denise's hairbrush. Matthew, that hairbrush isn't what I expected us to find here, but you're right. It has Denise Daniels' initials. And if we can get some DNA off of this brush, we can determine whether Denise Daniels is Rosetta's mother. Let's collect a sample of that hair. Okay. Hairbrush now. Let's see. Are we going to find out if Denise Daniels is Rosetta's mother? If it is, this will be a big breakthrough. But we'll see. Oh, they were in close proximity. Now that you've collected some hair from Denise Daniels' brush, Amir can run a DNA analysis. Let's send a sample to the lab and find out if Denise is Rosetta's mother. Also 6 hours, alright. Thought this was going to be 9. Okay, I'll let these two run their courses. See you when they're done. Okay, we are back. I'm starting to get a little better from my cough. Have you made any progress with Summer Klein's camera, Kathy? Did you find the recording she told us about? I did, and she was right. There's footage on here of Christian Bateman using his powers. Take a look. You and Caffrey? What do you want, Christian? You're a fugitive of the law. I don't want to get caught up in whatever you're involved with. I don't need to explain myself to you, Caffrey, or anyone else. Wait, hold on a second. I was only... Arrgh! And he froze Caffrey. Oh my god! Bateman was using his superpowers to attack that man. You're right, Matthew. I knew that other fellow looked familiar. That's Bateman's friend, Eowyn Caffrey. I don't know what Mr. Caffrey was doing with Bateman, but he might know where we can find him. What's this all about, Senior Trooper Matthew? I'm a busy man. And yet you found time in your busy schedule to meet with Christian Bateman, a fugitive. Bateman? He's the reason I'm wearing these bandages. He called me out of the blue, wanting to talk. He sounded pretty stressed, so we met up at the Newmark Garden. Then out of nowhere, he lost his temper and started shooting what looked like bolts of ice at me. What kind of technology could possibly do that? We're not sure, which is why we need to find Bateman. Well, I got no idea where he is. Although I do remember one thing, he kept mentioning something about flying high. Flying high? Matthew, do you think Bateman and the others are planning an escape by air? We better brief the team on our findings. Here, Senior Trooper Matthew, I've had some business dealings with Bateman, but after this, I don't want anything to do with him or his money. Okay. Okay, now let's get the results of the hair. I've got the results of the DNA test on that hair sample, Matthew. And the sample you collected from Denise's hairbrush is a perfect match for Rosetta's DNA profile from her prison records. In other words, Denise Daniels is without question Rosetta's mother. So it's true. Denise and Rosetta are mother and daughter. And we know that Rosetta's mother is the mastermind who's been pulling the strings behind Ad Astra, which means it was Denise all along. Matthew, this is crazy. Just to think that we handed over the dome to Miss Daniels thinking it was safe with Sarah, while in reality it only passed from one criminal to another. I know. Miss Daniels pretended to be as outraged by Rosetta's actions as we were, but she was the mastermind behind Ad Astra all along. You're right, Matthew. Miss Daniels can't deny any longer who she really is. We must confront her. Maybe. I know this sounds like a big Hail Mary, but maybe she's a friend in wolf's clothing. Or maybe she's or the other way around, rather. Maybe she's on our side. Miss Daniels, we have proof of who you really are. You are Rosetta Pierre's mother. So you found out about that, Senior Trooper Matthew. Well, alright, it's true. But being Rosetta's mother doesn't make me a criminal. The truth is, we've never seen eye to eye. Stop lying, Miss Daniels. You were the mastermind behind her and her group all along. Me, a mastermind? That's very flattering, Senior Trooper Matthew, but I don't suppose you have any proof of that. Basing your accusations on the word of my daughter and her criminal associates wouldn't get you anywhere in court. Surely nobody would believe them. Well, I, for one, would believe them over you. But even if you deny everything, Senior Trooper Matthew will find proof. Come on, Matthew, let's not waste any more time talking. We should search the Sarah headquarters. But first, I need something to eat. Hopefully this won't be, Hopefully this won't be another analysis that we'll have to wait through. Otherwise, I know I can speed it up. Oh. Oh, there's the painting. There we go. Matthew, Denise can hang her portrait here like she's a reputable director of Sarah, but we know who she really is. Wait, you're right. There's something hidden here on the back of the painting. It's a locked folder of confidential documents. Do you think it was Denise herself who hid these documents here? Let's crack that lock and find out. Got it. You made quick work of this locked folder you found on the back of that painting, Matthew. I'm anxious to find out what these are. But these look like personal notes to me. We'd better have Gabriel look at these documents. 6 hours. Let's do it now. I'm going to speed it up. Matthew, I've been over Miss Daniels' files. They're a partial record of what appear to be personal experiments that Denise was conducting. But her research goes into complex detail about genetics and biology, so I asked Martine to give me a hand. What kind of personal experiments are we talking about? Apparently, Miss Daniels has been obsessed by the notion of enhancing the human race. Her research goes back decades. And having Rosetta was part of her project. What do you mean? Well, Rosetta is indeed Denise Daniels' daughter, but not in the traditional sense. Rosetta was one of Denise's first experiments. Amir took another look at Rosetta's DNA records and discovered something very odd. Rosetta was created using only Denise's mitochondrial DNA. What? In other words, Rosetta was a test tube baby. She was developed in a laboratory. From the moment Rosetta was born, Denise raised her to believe she was superior to others in every way. I guess that explains where Rosetta got the idea that she was above the sheeple. Well, it didn't take long for Denise to realize that, although Rosetta was a child genius, she was no more resilient or enhanced than any other human being. Rosetta was written off as a failed experiment by the time she was 10, after which Denise stopped having any serious interest in her. So that's why much of Rosetta's early childhood was a mystery to us, Matthew. Imagine growing up knowing you were merely your mother's experiment. This explains a lot of Rosetta's behavior, Matthew. But regardless of their personal relationship, these documents clearly prove that Denise was the mastermind behind the human enhancement plan all along. This seals it, Matthew. We have more than enough evidence to arrest Denise Daniels. I'll call for backup on the way to Sarah headquarters. It was almost out of film time. Alright, Matthew, we're here to arrest Denise Daniels, but she may not go down without a fight. We've got backup stationed outside. This place is surrounded. Let's make our way to her office and... Senior Trooper Matthew, thank God you're here. You have to help me find Denise Daniels. She's gone. Gone? Calm down, Miss Ramsgate, and tell us everything. Let's find out where Denise Daniels went. Alright, Miss Ramsgate, what do you mean Denise Daniels is gone? She's disappeared. She phoned me earlier to say she canceled her entire afternoon and was leaving for the day. This was very unlike her and I was worried. I went into her office to check on her and it was empty. Miss Daniels wasn't there and everything has been cleared out. Her desk, her files, all of it gone. Do you have any idea where she's headed? I have no idea. Now, if you'll excuse me, Senior Trooper Matthew, as Sarah's Chief of Staff, it falls me to keep things in order around here. And it falls to us to search every square inch of Grimsboro to find Miss Daniels. Here, Senior Trooper Matthew, everything in our office is gone. All except for this. I think you should take it. I can hardly believe any of this, Matthew. Denise Daniels is Rosetta's mother and has been the one behind Ad Astra all along. From what you've uncovered, Denise has been planning to enhance a race of super resilient humans for years. And Rosetta Pierre, her own daughter, was the first experimental test subject. Apparently, Denise had no love for Rosetta. She may have masterminded Ad Astra, but she's turned against them. Backstabbing plots, criminals with superpowers. This is insane, Matthew. Well, I think I've got a lead to bring order to this madness, Matthew. Remember what Eowyn Caffery said about his encounter with Bateman? That he kept repeating something about flying high? Well, I did a little searching and it wasn't simply a throwaway phrase. Flying High is a company that manufactures helicopters, and Christian Bateman just purchased one. Apparently, Bateman's newest purchase is on top of a building in Newmark right now. Bateman bought a helicopter. Is this their getaway plan? Matthew, we must go and stop them. Well, that's it for the case. Boy, this is exciting. Only 4 more cases. Up over 214,000 now. Next case will be released on February 14th. That's Valentine's Day. And that's another Thursday. So before we go, three new ones. Five new ones. That's gonna do. So it turned out to be a dud. As I said, we have only 4 more cases to go in the conspiracy. So we're going to find out who the next victim is going to be. And we'll see you guys for case 57 on Valentine's Day. I'll see you all soon. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then.